Hi guys, welcome to, well finally we're doing another episode of Coffee and Comments, but we don't have coffee this time. But we do kind of, because it kind of reminds me of coffee. Tastes a little bit like a coffee. We're actually going to be drinking the salted caramel porter from Meantime, which is brewed exclusively for Marks and Spencer. Just done the review now, and yeah, not too bad. Not getting really any of the salt caramel aspect of it, aside from the salt sort of like drying the palate out at the end, but I'm not going to complain too much because it's a really nicely brewed porter, so swings and roundabouts I suppose. And yeah, if you see a breeze there and you hear something there and you can see my hair going everywhere, and that's because I've got a fan going because it's absolutely fucking sweltering today. Well, not really hot, it's just more, it's muggy as hell, do you know what I mean? It's really not comfortable, and I'm fully dressed, so that probably answers a lot of questions. Anyway, so we've got quite a few comments, well, I say quite a few, I never really get too many comments, because I think people got pissed off with me because I wasn't answering comments, but I do get somewhat regular comments, and I thought, I've already recorded this video about 3 weeks ago, but I accidentally deleted it. But yeah, we've got more comments to read, so happy days, I suppose. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's just get on with this. And we're actually going to start from the most recent comments and work our way down, just because I can't actually remember what the last comment was that I responded to on the series. Anyway, so we'll figure it out, but I've got about 20% left on my phone, so hopefully I can do this without it completely draining. Anyway, so the most recent comment was on review at 984, which was the got it labelled wrong because I didn't fully update it. So this is actually classed as the Luminance New England IPA, brewed by Mikla Brewing San Diego and Great Notion Brewing, although it wasn't because that was Magic Rock who brewed Luminance, so I'll have to edit that video. And people have already watched it, and it's a few days old, so quality control is something that I do take really seriously. But yeah, so I've got a comment from menteencoma. Menteencoma, yeah, that's it. So thumbs up and love. And he says, or she, because it might say man in the name, but you know, you've got to cover all bases and cover your arse. Not in that sense. Don't try and catch me out, politically correct mafia. But yeah, you're totally the e-fucked of beer reviews already. Well, I shall drink to that, and yeah, e-fucked. Probably one of my favourite websites. Just make sure that you're not with any prudes when you go on that website or in a public building, especially a school. So yeah, I do appreciate that. I think I'm going to take that as like the ultimate compliment, and if I do ever become someone of note in this community, then that's going to be my tagline. So gone is Skelmersdale's premier beer reviewer, and now it's going to be replaced with the clueless drinker, the e-fucked of beer reviews. So thank you for that comment, do appreciate that. And on that same video, got a comment from my good friend Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews. Oh, and there's a lawnmower in the background. Fantastic. And he says, I do love cinnamon, sounds bloody good to me, dude. Yeah, it really was actually. The one thing that I was a little bit apprehensive about was, will the cinnamon completely take over beer? But it didn't, and I think Mikla San Diego knocked out of the park once again. So yeah, I do appreciate that, my friend, and we will be doing another live review sometime soon. And I've got an idea for it, and we've already discussed it, so look out for that. So thank you for those comments. And as always, links to anyone who's commented on these videos will be down below for people to check out and subscribe to. So on to the proper Luminance review, which was review 983. Got a comment from James Rothwell, who says, good perspective on the Magic Rock betrayal. I still love them. £5.25 for 3 cans of Cannonball is progress. Good on you, Clueless. Well, thank you, James. And yeah, I still friggin' love and adore Magic Rock. Highwire Grapefruit, one of the best grapefruit pales you can get. Common Grounds, one of the best porters. I finally got round to reviewing... I've just said the grapefruit version, but I can't remember what its actual name is. Grapefruit... No, Common Grounds was the porter. Oh my god, how could you say something and then try and refer back to it and you forget what you've said? Highwire. Yeah, Highwire, which is the West Coast Pale. I had that recently and Jesus Christ, that was dank and resiny. I remember having that ages ago, but I finally got around to some like core beer, core range beers. I mean, you'll be seeing a review of Beavertown's Black Betty, which I think I've drank once before reviewing it, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. I had it recently, and it's like, what? I'm not even a fan of black IPAs, really, but that was beautiful. But, yeah. Magic Rock, I think they're just such a consistent brewery. I mean, yeah, you don't really see too many, like, special releases or seasonals. They've done quite a few collaborations as of late, but... yeah, if you go to your supermarkets and you see cans on the shelf, as long as they're fresh, you're in for a wonderful, wonderful drinking experience. And one of my rules is, when out drinking, if a place has Highwire Grapefruit on tap, you get a pint of it and you enjoy it. So yeah, and £5.25 for 3 cans of Cannonball. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with that. So plus, as far as I can see, we've not really seen any deterioration in quality from Magic Rock since the buyout. So yeah, just thought there are sensible people out there who can take things into context. So thank you, James, for actually being a sensible human being, and I do appreciate that, bud. So next comment is from a guy called Joe Ganzel, who from his profile pic has a fucking amazing beard. This has taken me like 2 months just to get to this point. I'm keeping it because you've got to hold on to hope. And yes, I do realise that the I can't think of what the word is. Yeah, it gets darker and lighter. Yeah, I know. This, you'd think with a phone that is known for its wonderful cameras that Huawei, or Huawei, I don't know how it's pronounced, will produce a really good front-facing camera, but it's really quite shit, actually. But we won't moan about Huawei, especially when they're watching me right now record this video. So Joe says, good view, I live at least an hour drive from a bottle shop, so if I can get craft beer in a grocery store or a gas station, that is cool. The job I have doesn't always have normal hours, and I sometimes have to work 7 days a week, so I don't have the time to go to the cities to get good beer. It's nice to be able to get craft beer in big stores. I do my best to support the little guys. Oh, I thought, because it said show more, I thought there was a bit more to comment. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I picked up 4 Pure's Juice Box, which is the double IPA of Juice Box. Yeah, the way I speak, you can't really tell if I'm saying the deuce or the juice. And yeah, I'm a local supermarket, 20-minute walk away, I can get a really lovely citrusy double IPA. And plus, my local Asda isn't really... it's... the beer selection in the past has been okay, but I went there recently because I made myself some homemade basil and pistachio pesto, which was tasting pretty damn good, by the way. And it's a bit of a research for an upcoming video for Review 1000, which for a bottle that I bought recently. But you'll see that if I finally come up with an idea for it when Beer Review 1000 comes along. But yeah, it was that, and surprisingly, in such a short amount of time, the range has just grown, and especially the 4-packs and 6-packs of beers. So yeah, I support bottle shops whenever I can. I mean, Northern Beer Temple in Wigan, whenever I'm there, or whenever I need to stock up, I'm happy to pay, 50, 60, 70 quid, support, Northern Beer Temple, and get some beers that I wouldn't be able to get elsewhere, locally. But, at the same time, if a supermarket has got a really good range of beers, why would I not make the most of that? And plus, yeah, I'm giving money that way to bigger corporations, but when I buy from a bottle shop, my money is much more effective because it goes more directly to the smaller scale, like breweries and bottle shops and things like that. If I'm in Leeds, I've got great places to buy beer, great bottle shops. If I'm in Manchester, great places to buy beer, great bottle shops. So I'm always looking for like independent bottle shops, but at the same time, if I want to spend a little less and get a beer that I can really enjoy, I mean, Pabst Blue Ribbon, I bought a 6-pack of that, and it was like one of my favourite purchases of recent times because I enjoy Pabst Blue Ribbon. So yeah, I think there's got to be a balance with that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because if you just go supporting local bottle shops and independent breweries, you're going to be poor very quickly. So yeah, that's why I've never been one of those people who will, look down on people for either choice. But I like to find a nice balance because sometimes I can't put down 70 quid on a beer haul. Sometimes I've got like 10, 20 quid that I could potentially play with. And supermarkets, and I've got booths, which is we go to Aldi, which is next to the booths. So every time we go there, I do stock up on like Core Range, Magic Rock, Beavertown, that sort of stuff. They've got a nice selection of German beers. So we're at a point now, and I've said this pretty much every time this topic comes up, we are so spoilt when it comes to good beer and access to good quality beer. And yes, I know supermarkets, you can sometimes pick up a beer that's half a year old and it's the first beer on the shelf. So you've got to be, a little bit mindful of that. You do take that into consideration. But yeah, I can get J.W. Lee's Moonraker, which is my favourite English strong ale, at my local Asda. So yeah, I've always got ways to get good beer, and I can get it online if I need to. Do you know what I mean? So, and especially if you've got, as Joe was saying, if you've got awkward work patterns, you can't always make time. You've got to just. It's like when you get food. It's like, oh, I've just finished a late shift. I need some food for the rest of the week. You'll pop into whatever supermarket's there, or if you've got a preference for supermarkets. So it's the same with beer. So if you use this when buying beer, because if you buy beer purely on this and like I'm sticking to my independent morals, you're probably going to get a better product, which has got a little bit more love and passion put into it. Not to say that stuff in the supermarket is soulless all the time, but yeah, you just got to work with what you've got and work with what you can afford at the time. So we can't always take a fucking weekend to Belgium, bring back all the Cantillon and then trade it for American juice, like most of the investment bankers who think they are the backbone of craft beer, which they're not. So yeah, and plus one of the best things about what we can get in the supermarket now, I wish I had this range now, compared to what I used to have when I was getting into this sort of stuff. So yeah, thank you for that, Joe. Appreciate that comment. So, for the next review, we're going all the way to review 885, which was the Lisouve. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, don't care. And that was the IPA brewed by Verdant and Duggars. And I've got a comment from a guy called Luke Quinn, who goes on to say, this was the first Verdant beer I ever tried, immediately hooked. Verdant are just, they've got the reputation for a reason. That being said, the last few Verdant beers I've had, I've just been, it's alright, because I think we've come a long way in such a couple of years with that style of beer that Verdant are known for. So, definitely one of the best breweries in the UK now. So the next one is from review 982, which was Blood Red Sky from Innocent Gun, and this comes from my fellow beer tuber and good friend of mine, Ronald Theriot, or Louisiana Beer Reviews, and he goes on to write, I don't need to say that, do I? He writes would be good enough. I enjoy pizza, and I was pleased with this Scotland produced ale, as you probably already noticed. Yeah, Blood Red Sky was a real surprise for me after having some really subpar Innocent Gun beers. But yeah, pizza. Can't go wrong with pizza. And yeah, Innocent Gun, when they knock it out of the park, they knock it out of the park. But a lot of the beers are quite bland. And I think for the best Innocent Gun experience, you have to be Canadian, because they seem to get a much broader range of beers than we do back here in the UK. I remember when you used to go to Aldi and used to get the Innocent Gun in the little containers, really nicely designed, nice, interesting sounding beers. I mean, you could even get like some of their stuff in B&M's now in the presentation boxes. But yeah, that was a beer that I wasn't really expecting too much, because I was being biased. I was being opinionated, but I drank it and I thought it was really damn good for sort of like a strong ale. So yeah, appreciate that, Ron. So next up, we've got a couple of comments from Fritz Kühne, who I think commented on one of the previous videos, and there's two comments from the Adam Beer, which was the Crooked Stave Artisanal Beer Project, which was a really interesting beer. And he also commented on the Salted Vinegar Crisp food pairing, because I've got a sophisticated palate, so fuck you all. And I'll read his comment on the beer itself, and he goes to write, "Great view, dude. Do you work in retail?" Yes, I work for a shoe company in a call centre, and that's all I think I can say, because we live in an age now where as soon as you can link up someone's employer with them, and they say something out of line, it's bye-bye job and hello scrutiny on social media, because that's the sort of politically correct, insane world we live in right now. But yeah, I do enjoy the job, actually. The people there are really, really nice, and I've come to know some fantastic people, so yeah, but the shifts can be interesting at times. And then for the actual food aspect of the video, or the Clueless Eats video that I did after that, he says, "Pretzels are perfect beer food. I'm shocked you don't have them yet." Seriously, if I could get access to pretzels, my freezer would be stocked up with pretzels, because pretzels, a little bit of Emmentaler, I think he even went into this in the video itself, Emmentaler or Masdama. The pretzels have got to have the little cubes of salt on now. And then just that big stein of a Hellers, or a mass of Hellers, I should say. Oh, just heaven. And especially those pretzels you can get in like the little bakeries and like convenience places outside of train stations in Germany. Get pretzels with cheese and ham on them, and that is just, that's one of my German Anthony Bourdain moments. I could live off that stuff. And I can't find anywhere that even sells frozen pretzels. I don't want the little farty ones that people cover with chocolate and stuff, because that's not a pretzel. I want like proper pretzels that I can put in the oven halfway through, put cheese and ham on there, and then I've got one of the best beer snacks. He's totally right with this. One of the best beer snacks that you can ever have. And even the sort of the pretzels I don't like, the little mini ones, they work well because they're salty. They're obviously going to work well with beer. But yeah, appreciate the duo of comments, and I'm glad that someone actually enjoyed that video, because I thought I was going to get, in that, is it Game of Thrones, where she walks down, people shout shame, red-headed woman, whatever, because Game of Thrones. I thought I was going to have to hand in my craft beer card, but no. It actually really worked really well as well. Anyway, so moving on. Thank you for those comments, by the way. Next video is the 976, which was the Bloody Hell, the 2019 version. And Jenkins says they have compromised on the beer. This is shit now, and I would wholeheartedly agree. I think I was a bit too fair in my review. But looking back at it, that beer is a shadow of its former self. And And as said in the review, the price point now is much more sensible because it's a regular sort of everyday IPA. But yeah, when that was first released, the fanfare, the whole atmosphere about the beer, they'd have tap events and stuff. The beer was, genuinely punchy with the blood orange. But yeah, it was almost you were trying to find the blood orange in that recent batch. And I think that reduction of ABV has played a massive part in that. I really, really do. And it's such a shame because that was a wonderful, wonderful beer. And I still like Beavertown a lot because Black Betty tastes beautiful. The recent cans of Gamma Ray that I've had have been absolutely spot on, and the fruitiest that I've tasted them in a long while. And some of the seasonals and the events, they're still very interesting brewery, but what they've done to Bloody Hell is just ridiculous. It's just not the beer that it used to be. Well, it's definitely not the beer that it used to be, and it's not the beer that it should be. It should be much more better. And I'm really quite a fanboy of citrus infused IPAs. So I'll sometimes be a little bit more of an apologist than some other voices out there. But yeah, Bloody Hell, that was a bloody disappointment. But yeah. And yeah, wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. Jenkins. Thank you for the comment. So next up, we're going to review 979, which was Gimme Fruit, Gimme Fire, Give Me That Which I Papaya, which was the collaboration between Black Iris and I can't read the other brewer's name, Turning something. I do apologise, and I got a comment from a good friend, Beardy Beer Reviews, Brett, who says the whole of the review I was trying to James yeah ahahaha from that song. I fucking love that tune, and I really wouldn't mind trying Black Iris beers, just the fact of the metal it as fuck ideas and designs. Great of you, buddy. Yeah, I love the identity that Black Iris have, and the beers that I've had have been really damn good. I think it's Kev Denton who does the artwork for them, did a lot of work for Vans, probably. Or I'm thinking of the infamous Kev Fenton of UK CBF fame. I can't remember. But yeah, the artwork is beautiful, the beers are really good, and that one was a pretty nice beer. It was a good one. It was like a series that they did, well, not series, it was just 4 beers that were released, all with different styles, but yeah, I've not had a Black Iris beer for a while, and I need to rectify that. And Black Iris need to get some merch, because the designs are friggin' amazing. That hand-drawn style is just wonderful. And yeah, and I think Brett did actually finally get around to trying one of their beers. But yeah, one of my favourite breweries, because I've just had a really consistent experience with them. So cheers, Brett. So then we go to my review of the Yuzu IPA from Northern Monk in collaboration with Finback and Cocktail Beer Ramen and Bun out of Manchester. And I got a comment from the wonderful tasting Nitch, and it was just what is it? Is it equals 3? No, it's what is the heart? When you get a heart, that's the more than 3. Is it more than 3 or less than 3 to make the heart shape? That's because she was talking about crazy beers, and I recommended. No, she was talking about beers and ramen, and funny enough, Northern Monk did a beer to go with ramen. So yeah, I think that's why she sent that, and it's not her confessing or professing her untold love for me. Anyway, thank you, Nitch. So next review, we go all the way back to review 632, which was the Victorian Lemonade IPA, brewed by Northern Monk and Magic Rock. And this was a comment from a chap called ToOldToSkate, who wrote, anyone got a clone recipe for this? Unfortunately, ToOldToSkate, nobody watches my videos, so there's no one to answer that question, so I do apologise. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate the view. So we go then to review 978, which was the Wingpin Series 3 SAS Spontan Fruit Nelson from Mikella, brewed for Scandinavian Airlines, or is it Swedish Airlines? So even if you're a snooty business type, you get access to really good beers when you're in flight. And that was an interesting beer. Would be interested to see what you think of the Mikla Beer Geek Waffle Breakfast from June's mailbox, and that comes from your Sick, which is actually in brackets reviews. I've not actually drank that yet. I did take it with me to Leeds with the intention of sharing it with Rob and a few other people, but that never happened because we were just getting beers anyway. So yeah, I've not tried that yet, and I think I should, because I'm interested to see just how potent the cinnamon is. Plus that beer seems to have divided quite a lot of opinions, so I really need to give that one a try. But yeah, thank you for that comment, and a wonderful name, by the way. I do appreciate that. So then we're going back to the Bloody Hell review, and we've got a comment once again from Joe Ganzel, and he says, "We get stuff here in the States. We get their stuff here in the States. We'll have to look for this one. Good review." Joe, if you're watching this, you can. I've just realised you can actually see my crotch. If you're watching this, you can actually get much better, I'd imagine, from Beavertown. Definitely check out Gamma Ray. That's probably my favourite core range beer that they do. And then I've actually got a couple more comments from Joe. The next one is on my Spontan Plum review 971, which was the Mikla and Oregon Fruits collaboration. I love the Spontan series, as most you know. And he writes, "I've been kicking around the ideas of using a fruitcake in making a stout. I know this is totally off topic, but as a beer tuber, would the fact that fruitcake's in a stout, would that turn you off the beer? I personally think it will make a great holiday beer, great view, and I will have to backlog more of your reviews." Well, first of all, Joe, I do appreciate that you're enjoying the videos. That's always great to hear. I do appreciate that. And do you know what? I'd actually be really interested to see what fruitcake would be like a beer, because you do get fruitcake a lot, especially in dark beers and stuff like Doppelbox, English strong ales, and of course the whole pastry stout movement now as well. So I would be totally fine with fruitcake put in my beer. I'd have no problem with that at all. I love. There have been foods that I've never wanted to try that I've ended up trying because it was in a beer and I enjoyed it. I'm still a really picky eater, especially when it comes to like fruit and veg. But I'm more than comfortable with it being in the beer. And the great thing about doing this is you not only broaden your experiences and palate in terms of beer, but it makes you more open to trying new things in general, whether it be food, other drink. So yeah, fruitcake in a beer, in a stout especially, hell yes, I'm all about that. And if you do make that beer, I'd love to hear how it turned out. And then he of course commented on the Yuzu IPA review, and this sounds like a good beer to pair with ramen. This will balance out the saltiness of ramen. Good review, plus I also do like long reviews. Cheers. Well, I'm the king of making long drawn out reviews, so I'm glad you're enjoying them. And yeah, unfortunately I drank my other can, so I can't actually do what I was intending to do, which was make the ramen recipe from the gift box that I got, and use that actually in the broth, and then also drink along with the food. Although Northern Monk is still selling that beer, so maybe if I'm in Manchester. Although that being said, they're actually going to be reviews and releasing the Northern, can't speak properly, the Northern Powerhouse series. So I might have to plop a can of that and 3 cans of Heathen in that order as well. So there may be a Cool Seats Ramen special edition video. But yeah, it does sound like it would complement that perfectly, doesn't it? So yeah, thank you for that, Joe. And from one Joe to much more inferior Joe, I jest. We're going to the artist formerly known as Average Joe, the Beer PaTroll, who made a comment on review 973, which is a double nothing, which was the Nitro Doppelbock brewed in collaboration between Stillwater and Oliver Brewing Co. And Joe wrote, can't speak. I enjoyed this one, but I found it let's try again. I enjoyed this one, but I found it to be actually quite boozy, which surprised me considering how well breweries hide ABVs nowadays. Interesting you perceived it to be well hidden, but cool to see a different opinion. Glad you loved this one, Peter. Nice review, buddy. Cheers. Cheers, Joe. Do genuinely appreciate that, and Joe did actually review that one as well, so I'm actually going to have to compare notes and watch his review again. Yeah, I didn't really get any booziness at all. I thought it was just I've got a bias against Doppelbox anyway because it's one of my top 5 favourite styles. So again, the apologist card comes into play, but at the same time, if you become an apologist, you also become the biggest critic of it if you get a really bad one. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I did not get the booziness at all when I was drinking mine. Maybe looking back, I might have got a little bit in like the pit of my stomach or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't consider it boozy. But it was damn good, and everyone knows that I love a Doppelbox, so that's the important thing. But yeah, cheers for that, Joe. Then next up, we've got a comment from review 226. God, that's a long time ago, and I was probably a heck of a lot slimmer back then as well. And that was the Amberstone Amber Ale from Harper's Brewing Company, which was the Marston's beer brewed for Aldi. And I got a comment from fukkingusernames, spelt really interestingly. I do dig that username, by the way. And he's got a picture. Is that a Whopper as his profile pic, or hers? His or hers? Stop assuming genders, Peter. I used to buy loads of this beer. Then one Friday I walked into Aldi and the shelf was bare. The guy working said they'd discontinued it. I was mortified. I really like the tough apple taste, as you rightfully said. Great stuff. Yeah, I think I only tried that one time and never bought it again. Even though it was things like a 7 out of 10 review where I said, oh, I'd definitely buy this again. But never bought it again. And I think they've rebrewed it. Or a different brewery's done it, because Aldi have got that like new range of beers, because Split the Bean. Is that what it was called? Split the Beans, that coffee porter that was it Adams did. I know they've got another one now, but I've heard it's not as good. But yeah, that range of beers that they had was really, really nice. And I actually remember that being a really steady, classic ale. But yeah, it's shit that, innit, when that happens, when just all of a sudden discontinued, tough titty. And it's like, okay, well, thanks. Yeah, it's really quite annoying when that happens, but hopefully, if you're watching this fukkingusernames, you'll find a good alternative. So appreciate the comment, and as I said, really good username. Do enjoy that. Okay then, so we've got a couple of comments on my review from 441, which was the xxXUnicorn, which was from Baltica Breweries. And mispronunciations are plenty in me reading these comments, by the way, so I do apologise to anyone who's having to listen to me butcher this language. So, xxXUnicorn originally is an analogue of Vienna Lager, and this is from Gleb Kozhevnikov. So I appreciate the comment, and these are the comments I really love when I get like information and a bit of background to the beers and stuff. I'm actually still recording. I've not had a message yet that the battery's running out. Shut up, notifications. So yeah, let's keep this ball rolling. It's probably going to be a long video, but I don't care. Yeah, we're switching on with Vienna Lager, but now each brewery makes what they want under this brand. Also, this beer is branded as Spetalione, which is special, so it could be far from original xxXUnicorn. I know I'm saying that wrong, I do apologise. I never saw such beer in our shops. Maybe it's some regional Baltica's beer. Could well be. It is amazing what you will find in your nearest sort of like Baltic shop, because I hate using the word Eastern European shop. I hate using the word Polish shop. It just sounds really ignorant. But yeah, if you've got any of those shops, especially if you've got like a really strong Polish, Latvian community near you, which we do. In fact, it's one of the biggest workforces in our area, because a lot of people from Skelmersdale who are born and raised here are lazy fucking bastards. So that's why I've got no problem at all with people coming to this country to work hard and to carve a life for themselves, because it's a free world. We should be able to do that. That being said, borders need to be looked after properly and maintained. We're not getting into a political discussion here, Pierre, but all I'll say is even now they do get a really bad rap of like Romanians, Poles, people from Poland. I hate saying Poles, but it just always sounds derogatory when it's not even intended to sound derogatory. Digging a hole, digging a hole. But yeah, they do make up a lot of Skelmersdale's workforce, so you'll get no issues with me. And plus, when cultures collide, you get to experience produce from them, like shops. There's a shop near to where I work which has a really nice wall of different sorts of beers from countries like Poland, and it's wonderful because you get to experience these things. But anyway, going slightly off topic, I tried Baltica's certificate on draft from their regional brew. The beer was shit, just 0.5 of pure, or half a litre of pure urine. I've had a few of those sorts of beers. And the thing with beers like this is, because there's a really big macro lager culture, because a lot of the small brews just ended up getting swallowed up by big conglomerates. So there is you do have to really search for those beers. But stuff like Tiskia, which I'm not sure if it's imported or if it's brewed here under license in the UK, but that's a lovely beer. I do enjoy that. A nice 4-pack of that every now and then. But yeah, bottom of the moral of the story, it goes back to when we were talking about supermarkets. One of the biggest joys I get with the whole beer thing is the exploration. When I was living in Germany, looking a little bit trimmer, riding my bicycle everywhere, I'd love to spend a day just going to like this shop and then taking a 1 hour cycle up to there to go to that shop, all in the name of beer. So who says beer is bad for your health? Anyway, I do appreciate those comments, my friend. It's always good to get another perspective and of course to be informed. So we've got another comment from my harrowing adventure of walking home from work at night in Skelmersdale video, which actually got, what's the word, got discovered by people at work, and then I do reviews on YouTube. Not that there's a dark secret to being a beer reviewer on YouTube, of course, but yeah. And that's the video that introduced a lot of people to my channel. And this is from xxUnicorn Slayer 69XX, who writes, "You're in Lancashire, mate, not Detroit." I clearly am, because I'm not dead. But yeah, Skelmersdale is boo, and it's a real shame. It really, really is. Thankfully, with it being summer, it's a little bit lighter, so you can at least see if you're about to be raped. Anyway, but yeah, appreciate that comment, even if it was full of snark. Then we go to review 969. We've got a few comments on this one, and it's the Lost Lager from Brewdog. The first one is from James Rothwell, who says, "You're right about councils." Can't remember what I said about councils in that video, but appreciate the comment nonetheless. I'm glad someone agrees. Then we've got a comment from Aleflippy 1997, and he writes, or he or she writes, "Quite a few colleagues as well as customers claim that it's a fine with lager, nothing too fancy but quite good. I beg to differ. I honestly find it fairly bland, like almost too simple even for a lager. I do prefer Kingpin as well, and even that isn't formidable. I believe lagers aren't Brewdog's thing." I have to try Lost Lager again, so I can actually answer that comment properly. But when I drank it, I thought it was a serviceable lager. And I think Brewdog actually do a really good job of making serviceable, easygoing lagers. But I can see that people might find them a little bit boring. So I'm not going to kick off or block someone because of a contrasting opinion to mine. That's what it's all about, coming together and discussing things. But yeah, Kingpin, have they stopped doing that now? Is Lost Lager Kingpin now, or does Lost Lager still? Because you just see so many different beers coming into core or headliners and stuff like that, so it's hard to keep track of what like a regular Brewdog beer is now. But yeah, appreciate that comment and completely see where you're coming from. And then the last comment for now on that video is from Gregg Bulman, who says, I prefer Kingpin that they do. It's solid as you'd say. I'd recommend it for a macro lager drinker over Kingpin, as they are probably more likely to stay. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Not wholeheartedly, as I just said, wholeheartedly. Yeah, it is a simple lager. I definitely say it wouldn't be my favourite Brewdog lager that I've had. Kingpin I actually really bloody enjoyed when I had that, but I didn't drink enough of it, so I'd probably fall into that camp actually. How's that for flip-flopping? But no, seriously, Lost Lager, it's one that I would happily buy multiple times. 4 packs in the 660ml bottle. But that being said, if there's Pabst Blue Ribbon there, I'd get the Pabst Blue Ribbon. But appreciate the comment. Next up is from review 968, which was the NBCC 19 Berliner Starweiser with Calamansi. And got a comment from Matt Barker. Appreciate the comment, Matt. Who says, Catamarsi is a fruit of the Philippines. They're like small limes, the local people mix the juice with soy sauce and chilies. Oh, that sounds divine. I thought this was a nice beer, especially for people new to sour beers. Sour beers are a bit hit and miss, but I enjoyed this. I have a question. I see you're in the Mikkeller Beer Club. Which is better to join, the beer club or the beer mail? I also see ToOld have a club also. So I'll answer that question first. I had the mail club, the beer mail club, for a couple of months, but then I saw you get a bit more exclusivity in the beer club box, so I went over to there for a couple of months, tried that, got to the point where I was like, well, can't really afford this, but then people started using the referral links, so I was getting discounts on the boxes. See, I would say out of the two, I'd personally pick the beer club box, because we got to have the free Alchemist beers in the one box. Although that being said, the beer mail box sometimes has better beers, or beers that I'd happily swap out with beers that come in the beer club box. So I think what you're willing to pay does play a big part in that. But either box is really good and great value for money, but I'd probably stay with the beer club box. I've been tempted to try the ToOld box, but I'd have to stop the Mikkeller Beer Club box for a little bit, just to justify, the price. Because I'm a massive fan of both breweries. I might have to try that one time for a few months. We'll see. Maybe if I get a bad box from the Mikkeller Beer Club, then I'll stop it for a little bit and give the ToOld box a try. But yeah, I'd say shoot for the stars and go for the beer club box. But yeah, in terms of the beer itself, yeah, I just did no research at all when I went into that beer, but it made perfect sense that it'd be a citrus fruit. But yeah, that with soy sauce and chilies, that sounds good. Maybe a bit of chicken. I'll marinate some chicken wings in that. Oh my god, that'd be lovely. And yeah, I really genuinely agree with you on that, about that being a great beer for newbies when it comes to sour beers, because it wasn't too pungent, it wasn't too in your face. You didn't scrunch up and get shivers going up your spine when you took your first sip. But I personally think for me it was just maybe a little bit too safe, but for it to be like the beer for the festival, it makes perfect sense, because it was easy going. But yeah, definitely agree with that. Perfect introductory beer to sour beers. Then we got another comment from the Lost Lager review, this time from my good friend Jonathan from Northern Southern Beer Reviews, who says, "Core, you sound like a woman on her rag, mate. Lol, 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 lol." I have no fucking idea what I was ranting on about in that video. But I probably, well, definitely did. So appreciate that, bud. Now, I've already answered these comments, but in the previous video, but I'm going to answer them now. So it's going to be even longer. I can tell that I have, because I've already thumbed up and hearted the comments, because that's the sort of guy I am. So I got another comment from Fritz Kühne on the Berliner Starweiser. Berliner Starweiser with Kanamasi. And Sliminess in the Body. Gotta check that one out. Yeah, it did have it. When you've got a bit of saliva and you swallow it back down. That's what it kind of reminded me of. And I will not retract that statement. Then we've got a comment on my Omega Vortex video from my good friend Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews. It says, "Can't keep up with all these patrons project beers, but ones I've had been a dream to drink. Love the whole concept of it. And I've ordered an Overworks glass after watching this. Looks nice, pal. Cheers." Yeah, Omega Vortex was absolutely... I can't make that clicking thing in my hand. Maybe once I develop arthritis from a job, I might be able to do it a little bit better. But yeah, the Omega Vortex was banging, especially when you've got other half in equilibrium involved. But I don't think it was as good as Infinity Vortex. But then I don't think they were trying to like outdo or replicate that. They just wanted to make a beer with their American buddies, and they made a damn fine beer, which you can still get a hold of on the web shops, and I'd highly recommend you do so. But yeah, the Patrons Project, I always buy them when I can, or when they sound appealing to me. There have been a few recently where I thought, not really too fussed about them, I'll let them go. But there are some where I'm like, I have to get every entry into this series, and especially if they're going to be doing more ramen Asian cuisine style beers, then fuck yes, I'm getting those. But yeah, that Overworks glass is absolutely lovely. I love those wine style glasses that are popular now. Even though I've smashed both my Mikkeller Beer Club one and my Deo one, and I've only got my oversized Overworks one, but then also I've got a couple of the festival glasses that are in that style. Yeah, Beer Geek Glass Talk. If there's anything that's going to make a woman dry, it's going to be Beer Geek Glass Talk. But yeah, appreciate the comment, bud. I hope you're enjoying the Overworks glass. So next we've got a comment on the Random Booths Haul video that I did from iSkillcorn1. Terrible idea for a video. Why couldn't you do unboxing in front of the camera instead of talking whilst we looked at a plug socket? Because the plug socket is marvellous, and you all need to behold the majesty of said plug socket. But I'm glad you watched it anyway. Then we've got a comment from Joe again, Joe Ganzel, on my North Sea Sessions review from Northern Monk and Sandy Kern, brewed in collaboration with Fullscreen and Soma. And Joe writes, "Great view, cheers. Appreciate it, bud." And then next up, we've got some reviews on. Well, they're not comments as such, as I was attacked by spam on pretty much all my Hacker Shaw related videos. I won't read all of the comments on the videos, but this is the sort of comment that I received multiple times on any video that had Hacker Shaw in the title. So yeah, apparently Nigerians are right on the trend with Hacker Shaw. So this comes from a chap called Jerry Z. Sader, who wrote, "Serious-minded people should contact," in capitals. Then the body of the text is, "Daddy obviously wasn't there to see those children on those dirt bikes grow up. Serious-minded people should contact. Need a hacker? Was in a bit of some really embarrassing cyber issues, which led me to meeting some scammers as well. But my will to solve my issue eventually paid off when I met Kryto Cyber Hacker. His work rate, professionalism and discretion is top class. Hit him up at cryptocyberhacker@gmail.com. He's kind of picky though, so make mention of the reference. Tell him I referred you. You're welcome. And I got that style of comment about 6 times on any video that had Hacker Shaw in the title. So, moving swiftly on, we're going to the Pecan Psychosis Bourbon Barrel Aged review from Amundsen. And this comment from the Hog 31604. Great review, fella. Cheers. Cheers, my friend. Always appreciated. Then we've got a comment from the legend that is Rob from Hopzine on Is There Music in Your Dreams, which was the Wylam and Other Half Brewing collaboration. Great beer. Love it. Yeah, pretty much any beer that Other Half have been involved in, I've absolutely loved. And especially when you've got Wylam involved, then you know you're in for a good time. Lovely beer that was. Then we got a comment on my Wild Bills IPA from Harper's Brewing, which was review 284, so going quite a long while back. And this is from Eddie Hoare, who says, I agree, 7 out of 10 for me, or 7.5 out of 10 for me. They could have shown more bravery with this recipe and done something further hop-wise. Apart from that, it beats all the mass-produced lagers hand down for folks wanting an interesting alternative. Amongst the better IPAs, it doesn't rate. If in south of England, go for St Austell's Proper Job. Not drunk that for ages. An easy 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. Bless you, matey, Steve. Cheers, Steve, known as Eddie in the handle. Yeah, Proper Job, I've not had that for yonks. Really not had that for a long time. I'll have to pick that up next time. I'm sure I fondled it in Asda earlier today. But yeah, that Wild Bills IPA is a really good beer. Again, for people trying to get into the world of craft beer. Yeah, appreciate the comment, bud. Then we've got a comment from my Flight Risk, which was from Left-Handed Giant. And this is a comment from menteencoma again. We all love the deformed claw gesture. Keep it. I definitely tastes really good, but I will definitely keep the deformed claw gesture. That's been a gesture I've used all my life. I think that might be saying something about my mental and physical abilities. I don't know. So it stays. Then we've got a comment from Vincent Vaughn. Love your acting. Massive fan. I jest. Because it's not that Vince Vaughn. Terrible. And this was from my Bud Light review. It claims it has no corn syrup. Dilly dilly. I don't know if it does or not, so I can't respond to that. And I think that is the last of the comments. I might have already responded to that one. I don't know. But we're going to cut it there because I've taken up way too much of your time already. But I do appreciate that. And yeah, I think we have, because when I got comments on the actual Scalmastel video, I think that's where we stopped, because I've just about uploaded it. But yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this. Hopefully next time I can do it, keep it on a weekly basis, or at least once every 2 weeks or fortnightly, if is the proper term. But yeah, definitely won't be as long in between this one and the next one. But yeah, I do genuinely appreciate that. Anyone who's had their comments read will have their links in the description down below. If they don't have a channel, then they don't have a channel, but if they do, watch their videos and enjoy them. So yeah, thank you for watching that. Thank you for joining me with not a coffee, but with comments. And of course, any comments left under this video will get read as well. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See me in my full graceful self with a t-shirt tucked underneath the belly. Just realised it was doing that, and yeah, you got to see clueless crotch, which you can only usually do on Pornhub. But oh well. So thank you all for watching. Don't know how long this has gone on for, because I can't actually read how long the video's been recording on my screen, because my eyes are terrible. And yeah, the lighting's not been too bad. in this one. Exposure's what the word I was looking for earlier. And yeah, hopefully that fan noise wasn't too distracting. But yeah, I'm in a good place right now. It's breezy outside. I've got a nice IPA in the fridge. Just about to make myself some pesto and pasta. Sounds good to me, man. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and hopefully you'll enjoy the videos as they come, and you'll leave some nice comments for me to read out. So yeah, cheers all, and you all take care. So I have to get up, make noises like an old man, and turn the camera off. See you guys later.